Hi, everybody. It's Andy from Property Pipeline Pro, and I've got Chris Doughty with me from Sourcing Investments. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm great, Andy. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. The reason why we got you on is because one of the things that a lot of my clients and a lot of property investors in general come across is this concept of compliance. You know, if they're doing property sourcing or they've got property projects and they're getting funding from people, they need to be compliant. And one of the things that I mean, we've been speaking for quite a while about this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I've interviewed about this before, but I wanted to sort of really push it into my client base. The power of what you do and the concept of getting compliance into their business in a way that makes real sense. So I endorse this product because it works really well. It's the right sort of pricing. It does everything that they need in a fast way. And this is the whole thing of a lot of business that we do today is we want to get things done so we can work on the business rather than the weeds of it. That's what Property Pipeline Pro's about. It's what you guys are about on the compliance for. So I wanted you to just give a little bit of information about the pros and cons of compliance and where you fit in to help property investors and property business owners to get their compliance up and running fast and get it done professionally.
For sure. So really the story is what problem are we solving? And we have a platform which is designed for verified investors and verified sourcing agents finding them the deals. We've been operating now for 6 years. And one of the toughest challenges we saw was verifying sourcing agents and their compliance. And the compliance is not just, let's be very clear, not just about ticking the boxes with regard to getting certificates from HMRC. This is about integrating all of their regulation, all of their compliance regulation built into your business, including data protection, including a lot of anti-money laundering, etc. And unfortunately, it is a quagmire for an individual or a small five-man business to go to the extent that national and international estate agents have to do. But unfortunately, they have to do the same amount. So therefore, it becomes very, very clear that either they are very pernickety about it, and some of them do it, and I mean 5% properly, but the rest, unfortunately, take the choice of that is too much. I need to focus on revenue-generating activities, not spending 300 hours in a year, making sure that my business is not just compliant, but is continually compliant with every deal that I do, with every client, and having all the systems and procedures built in. And unfortunately, they just don't. And so therefore, you now have an environment where, yes, the compliance is there, but people aren't using it, they're not bothering. And then when things go wrong, both the sourcing agent's business, the investor who is selling properties themselves, then come into problems of, well, let's see your I.C.O, let's see your GDPR compliance, and more importantly, if there's a problem, your insurance will not be covering you from a professional indemnity. So unfortunately, by making that choice, it's too difficult, is exposing you as a business, exposing your clients, and unfortunately, it is a complete pain. And that's why we took a year and a half, including our technology of our systems, integrating everything and all aspects with regard to compliance across all the major bodies, HMRC, the TPO, the PRS, the I.C.O, etc. And it's taken a year and a half to get this product. And additionally with that is actually thinking about people who need compliance. They don't want to be paying £1,200, £1,500, £2,000 up front when their business is just starting out. So in order to solve that problem, we do an interest-free monthly payment of $99 a month, and that therefore spreads cash flow. It makes it easier on starting a business, and more importantly, within a very short period of time, 2-3 days, you can be fully compliant and using our system to gain access to 30,000 investors plus, and it's growing 200 investors month on month. What more do you need, Andy?
Yeah, exactly. And I think because it makes business sense. This is one of the reasons why, I've been supporting you guys, because as far as I'm concerned, when you're running a business, and that's what we do when we're doing this, as property professionals, we're running businesses. And when you're running a business, you want to get things done pretty quickly, and you don't want them to cost the earth. And I think this is the reason why I like this so much, because, $99 a month, It's incredibly affordable, spreads the cost out over. But the most important thing, I mean, that's great, but the most important thing is that you just said that you can be compliant in a few days rather than months or even never, which is what tends to happen if you try and do it yourself and you don't keep up with everything. And this is an important part of a property business. You know, if you've got investors who are investing in your business, if you're doing projects and you need investment, if you're doing property sourcing, this has to be done. It's not really a choice. You know, you need compliance, and we see a lot of websites and things like that that have got, you know, the compliance symbols on them. But when you actually talk to people, you know, and ask them, well, you know, what have you done for this compliance? Well, we've registered for it. Registering is not enough.
No.
And, you know, this is one of the reasons why I think this is a really good thing to expose to my audience, because if they just understood the concept of you paying, you know, a small monthly fee, but you're completely compliant, it's kept up to date. And there's lots of other things that go on within your business as well, which can help them. This is just like part of it, but being compliant is got to be one of the most important things, you know, and get it done, get it out the way and get on with the job. That's the whole point of it. It's what we do with Property Pipeline Pro. Get your sites done, get all the automation done, get on with your job. Don't fiddle around with these sort of things for years. Just get on with it. Can you just quickly go through? I'm just going to put this up on screen. The sort of things that you're actually talking about, the sort of compliance you're actually talking about here.
Yeah, so for everybody here, just these are the associations and bodies that and also things you have to do. And to say, without going over it, you come and, you know, have a look. Andy's going to put up the link to the page with all of the information on for all of your clients, Andy. But HMRC, the I.C.O, the PRS, you have to have professional indemnity insurance, and again, the right one. That can take, you know, I mean, many insurers out there don't even know what a professional sourcer is, never mind how they operate, or even investors who are selling their own properties directly to other consumers. You also have to do all of the legal associations with the anti-money laundering policies. You have to create your own. That's typically a 10 to 20 page document. You have to do all of your own GDPR policies and create them. You cannot just copy and paste these from people, and you have to have your own terms and conditions and legal contracts if you're going to be selling to investors. And this is just this section down here. I'm not even talking about the other stuff. And then additionally, on top of that, you have to have a ring-fenced client account. And unfortunately, you cannot join one or two of these associations without having a ring-fenced bank account. And a client account is completely independent from the business. You can't just set one up on the likes of Tide or something like that. It doesn't count, and it's not legal. You have to go to a mainstream bank to get a client account. And unfortunately, many sourcing, letting agencies, etc., are struggling to get this because the banks are requiring you to be a member of the associations and have all your compliance with before they give you an account, whereas the associations need you to have an account before you have an association with them. And nobody is looking at this as an industry. They are simply looking after all the different segments themselves, and it's not working. So with regard to that, you have access to our client account as well, and our full system, which allows you to work with investors, your own investors, legally, compliantly, anti-money laundering, ticks all the boxes, and more importantly, support from the sourcing investments team overseeing you. So if you're just starting out, the point is focus on your energies of finding great deals, and the rest you can be supported throughout your journey as a sourcer or even selling your own properties as an investor. And what we've done is made this all under one roof. The total cost is actually, because of our economies of scale, is less. So typically you'd be paying over £2,000. And so from our side, 1188 is the total price as it stands at the moment. And in order to help all of the people out there who is needing compliance, we've actually created a 0% interest-free loan product through Premium Credit and other providers providing that credit for $99 a month. And this, you know, frees up capital to your business, your startup capital, and more importantly, will probably save you in the region of 200 to 300 hours every year with your compliance.
That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. So thanks very much for joining us. If you want to get on board with this, there's going to be buttons on the site and things like that to get compliant for $99. Chris, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time, mate.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very
Cheers,
much, Andy.